publish that, you can go to System and then Template Styles. You'll see the Yoo Theme default and you'll see Customize. Okay, so this is the main builder. First thing you want to do if you've got a Pro license, what you want to do is add your API key. I obviously haven't added mine there, but you should do. That'll give you access to a lot of things, including a lot of the Pro presets. So the next thing you really want to do is do a system check, really. No critical issues found, but look, it's saying there's a max execution time, could be 60 in the PHP configuration. So I'll go away and configure that. I'll do it now in front of you guys, just so you can see what that is like as well. Okay, so I want my PHP settings. This is cPanel, so if yours looks different in your hosting, perhaps you don't have these options, speak to your host about how to do this, but this is what I have. So what you need to do is make sure you've got the GD library on. Also Joomla 4 likes file info, so I'll turn that on. And that is all from here, unless Joomla needs some stuff, which it does, but I won't talk about that in this tutorial. And then on this one it said the max execution time, something like that, wasn't it? Just go back and check. Max execution time, so we find that in here it is 30, it wanted it to be 60. Let's double check that value. Yep, wants it to be 60. So now that's saved, we know that's 60, we're all good. If I check again with a refresh, settings and a system check, cool, no critical issues found. So yep, that's pretty simple. It's all in your PHP. If you're in cPanel and you have these options, I say do it. If not, speak to your host. I can't really help you because every host is slightly different. Okay, so let's go back to basics and we'll start on the home. Don't hit close because that will take you out of the builder. The first thing we can do is go into layout and then site, and we can set up a logo. You can see I've set mine already. You simply put, you know what, I'll do this one. You just click on this image and it allows you to choose an image, or if you want you can add a folder and then upload an image, or whatever you want to do. Mine's already uploaded. I'm not going to show you how to upload a file. Hopefully you can already do that. If not, write it in the comments. Once I've uploaded my in fact, I'll just give you a bit more information here. Once I've uploaded my image, I've used an SVG, which is great. You can set width and height if you want to. You don't always have to. You can set inverse logo, so that would be a whiteout logo versus a colored logo. You can set a mobile logo if you want it to be slightly different on mobile, and you can have a mobile inverse logo as well. And you can have dialogue logo. This is dialogue over here. Pops open. You can put a logo on there if you want to. In fact, I'm going to. Brand assets, and there's my logo. Click there. I will save that. As you can see, it's all in real time. Should be up there now. There you go. It's all up there now. So this would be a perfect example of where to use an inverse logo. I'm not going to create one in front of you, but this would be a good option for that. And it would also be a pretty good option where I could use perhaps a logo which was a square shape, so the text could come below and we could do a completely different logo for that purpose. Same with the mobile. Anyway, I'll let you guys work that out on your own. There are some other options here. I will go through some quickly. Mobile, I've put the visibility to none. On this particular website, I'm going to have this thing there all the time. I'm not going to have the mobile menu. I'm just going to have this on desktop and on mobile. So I've turned that off, and then what I have done, if I go back to menus, you'll see what I've done. Navbar position I've turned off, and I've put it into the dialog position instead, and that is how you get that to appear only on desktop. Not every use case needs it. A lot of the time I would have a menu as well. So to go back to layout, if I missed anything, they have a few positions that are already built into the builder, and that is top, sidebar, bottom and footer. So most websites need a footer. The great thing is you can build it yourself here. I'm not going to cover it just here because I'm going to cover this builder element in a minute, but you can make it exactly as you want. And as you can see at the bottom, this is when I hover on it, you'll see what I've done. Some text, a headline and some social buttons, a divider and a copyright. So you can kind of be pretty flexible with that. It's really cool that you can do that. So moving on to the styles, I'll skip the rest of this. All you need to know is there is a top position which is above your main content. So if you're in Joomla, it's above the component, or if you see, I don't know where it is on this page to be honest with you, but it's above your main content. So if you have a component there, or content or a blog or something like that, it'll be above it, and bottom will be below it, and sidebar will be next to it. Funny that. Moving on to styles, you can click this preview UI components. you'll see this. I love this. I think it's a really cool idea that actually you can do a drop down, a drop bar, items. See a drop bar slightly different, headers, dividers, everything else. The active one, you can have your accordions, you can have your boxes, primary, secondary text, all of the stuff that you might want to style in a website. If you were starting from scratch, you would have to style every one of these items somehow. And I love the fact there's an option to choose that. If you were to be building your own template, this would be such a fantastic place to start. I'll turn it off now just so we can work in real style. So this is where you control your style. So the first thing you want to do is pick one. Once you've picked one, you have these options. So by going to global, I'll just show you that one. I've changed the font family. You can see what I've changed because it's got a little dot next to it, and you can click the X to put it back to reset. So I'll just show you what that looks like. As you can see, it goes back in real style, and it's Poppins, although that isn't Poppins, so I don't know what's happened there. But I need space for grotesque, so I'm going to put it there. I'll tell you what will have happened there. I'll have styled it somewhere else as well. My default font is that, so I'm putting it back. You can change a lot of the defaults here. You can see the ones I haven't changed. This one I have changed to blue, matching my logo. And you can see here, if I look down, you'll see that the ones I haven't changed have no dot next to them, and the ones I do change will have a dot next to them. So I haven't changed very much at the moment. But it's useful to know a couple of things here. Base, body, link, strong. It's the real base elements, the very basics. And then after that, another good one is text. Sometimes you might find some stuff in here which you might find useful. And other than that, the rest of it relates to modules, that kind of part of this builder. So I'll skip past that. I think I'm thinking of layout and I'm thinking of header. There you go. So this will allow you to choose different things for your logo. So here, logo and menu items on the left, search on the right. Logo on the left, menu items in the middle, search on the right. Logo on the left, menu items and search on the right. You get the idea. You can have them stacked. You can even have them with a logo with the menu items split either side of it, which is a really cool feature because it's quite difficult to do that sometimes on templates. Going back to the styles, we've kind of covered it, so I'll move on to the builder. Builder, I normally click on open templates. I've got the home page template here. If I change page to another menu item, what you'll see is that this has no builder. If I go back to the home page, this has the builder option next to it. Because it's assigned to this page, it has a builder option. If I now go to another menu, it doesn't, so I click new template. I'm going to call this blog template, and then I'll just do category blog, and I'll actually set it so it's only to the category blogs. So if I go to case studies, it will have a different template, which is probably quite normal that would be true. So now I'm on to blog template. I can click on the builder because it's assigned to this page. I need to click on new layout. Now remember, this is only affecting the bits in between the header, which is at the top of the logo, the footer at the bottom, and of course there will be a top and a bottom and a sidebar. You style them in the other places. So I've got the section. If I want to create another section, I click this button. I'll click it again just to show you, and it makes it in real time. The next thing to do with a section, quite a lot of the time what I like to do is click the icon for the pencil, and I like to give it a name. That is one way of naming it, but probably I would rename it with something more descriptive. So, for example, an image and some text. Again, not the best naming, but a bit more descriptive. So, because this is an image and some text, what I will do is this one creates a new section. In this case, we have the section, we click the pencil to edit, but we want to edit the row. So we click the pencil on the side here. First thing I want to do, I know it's an image and some text, I change the layout and I'll put it into halves. I'm just going to save that. I could edit the columns. You can see here I can put background images, videos, stuff like that, which is pretty cool. But I'm going to leave it as it is. And here I'm going to put some image. So I've just clicked on the plus. I see my elements. So I'm going to type image here. and here I'm going to type heading, and then I'm going to need to add another one. I'm going to hover it and click this little plus below, text. Now you can see they're only going into that column. If I wanted to suddenly add, let me, maybe we could change settings and style, and then I'll put it as primary. What you see is the background changes to the primary color. So I will save that. I'll go back, and what you see is that sometimes you might want another section, but you might just want another row in that section. So I click this little plus, and now I could, do you know what I can do which makes things quicker? I can just duplicate this, and then I'll drag that down here. In this case, I could just duplicate the whole thing. Should be quicker. I'm going to hover and delete, and I'm going to just switch these over here and the image over here, and you can see straight away I've got a little section where they're going in different places. Now imagine I wanted to have this text centered by the image. I would be considering going into my column and perhaps looking at settings and alignment middle, and there they go, that's done. No matter if the text changes, I'm still good, I can still be centered. So here I can go, there is a small amount of text, as you can see, it happens in real time. If I now go to this one, okay, here we go. So now there's loads of text, and as you can see, it's at the top, which I might like, but in keeping with the theme of the tutorial, I'm going to put it at the middle and be consistent. Now you can see it doesn't matter how much text is there, they're always going to be centered. So another really cool feature. So every time you do anything, even in the row, you can always choose this settings feature, and in advance you can set a class, which is useful. Sometimes it might be useful to set an individual attribute like CSS or something. CSS will be done there, sorry, but still useful sometimes to put attributes. In this case I'm not. Click on this, click on Pro Presets, and then I will stick this one in. And now it's got an accordion, and multiple items starts closed. So you can see I can click on this and it actually works in real time. And if I click on this now, I can add an item, pretty easy. Save that one. It's all in real time, which is great. Needless to say, there are tons and tons in here, and you can, for example, look at buttons. There's loads of little buttons there, some with icons in it. So really cool that they've come up with such a lot of lists of things that you can easily drop in. And you've got my presets as well, which we don't have any of. However, I will show you how to make them. In fact, let me just show you a few more of the presets or elements. It's really cool. You've got some system things like breadcrumbs, modules, module positions. Be aware that in the module positions, you only have builder 1 to 6 really to choose from. You could put logo or something, but none of these would make sense. But builder 1 to 6 are the custom ones that you're allowed to use. So be aware of that. So I'll stick a builder 1 in there just so you've seen it. Now I can assign something to builder 1 and it will appear in that module position. Like say this, I've made an image with some text and some stuff like that. I can actually save this entire section, so that would have all of these images and text, images and text. So I press this button, image and some text times 2. I can save that, or I could save one of these individual things. So if I really style the headline, I could save it like that. Would be useful. And then so I save it, and we go to my library, and I have my layouts and image and some text times 2. So what that means is I can now go to an entirely different page, and I can just quickly drop things onto that page that I've made on other pages or in the past. And in fact, what I can do is I can save this entire layout. So you can actually save the entire layout over here, which means I could then go to another page which is very similar and make the entire layout reappear, as well as individual sections. One thing I would be very keen to impress on you is when you do add things, it will replace your entire layout. You need to do this insert at bottom, really. And now if I do this, you see it's added the section that I had made. So yeah, just be very, very careful. It starts on replace layout. It's very annoying. It replaces your entire layout. If that happens to you, just refresh your page. Do not save it, just refresh your page. Everything will be back as it was, and then you can go back and do this again. Pro layouts are kind of completely built pages, which are pretty useful. Saves you a lot of time. Obviously you can change all the styling on them, but pretty cool. I could just add to what? I can just stick this one in, for example. Now you can see that I've got a really cool animated slider, and most of the work's done for me. I can just replace the images, replace the text, and I'm off. So I just refresh, like I just told you, gets rid of them, all sorted. So next thing to know about is dynamic content. So we're on a blog page, so we have blog items. So if I go, I'll just create another section just to show you. When I go to click on the elements, it needs to be this multiple items. When I'm on the multiple items, I can use multiple items from a blog or something like that. I cannot use the basic items. I cannot make a headline and some text and say to put an article title in the headline. That doesn't work like that. You have to use the multiple items. So if I use a grid, which is a very, very useful one, dynamic comment. So I can use the dynamic articles from this page because it is a category blog layout. I'll save that and I will go back to my content, and I've added one item, and then I could just add some more items. And then when I go into these items, I can click on dynamic and I can click on the title, and for the content dynamic, and I'll click on the content. And even the image, I can use dynamic and intro image. And the image alt, I could probably just do the title. And if I really wanted to, I could do before, a picture of, and then the title. And I'll just save that. So go down to the bottom, and you can see it's starting to take place. The pictures aren't working, I'm not sure why, but it does say as the alt text, a picture of blog 1. So this is really, really cool. You can add all of your similar content here. What am I doing? That's going to add a direct link, but if I go to dynamic, I can choose the link from the article. And that's great because now I've got this grid, and then I'll just, there we go. So I've got a few there. Now settings, I can choose column gap, row gap, how many columns. So it's on landscape 3 columns, we can change it to 2. There you go. Now we've got the blogs. So there's quite a lot of things you can do here to get it to look how you want it to quite quickly. Obviously you can do things like enable the Lightbox gallery. You can change the title. Style could be 2x. There you go, it's massive. We could change the font family, we could change the color, secondary color. There you go. So all of this stuff is great, and it's styling all of them. That is a bit ridiculous, so I'm going to just change that to small. And so there you have it. But it's not all, because I'm showing a grid which looks quite basic, but if I choose a slider I can do the same thing because it's in multiple items. So I just do a panel slider and I go onto here, I'll add an item. Here's on here. So it's dynamic content, and I want articles, not category. Category would show like the category title and stuff like that. So I'll just go back to content, and now because it's dynamic I can choose title and I can choose content, and I won't bother with the rest. And what you will see if I go back and then I just duplicate it 3 times, and here I'm on a slider, right? So I can click this and it will take me through all the content. So really cool that you can actually use all the different elements, and a lot of them you can use dynamically. So I find that absolutely fantastic. Now I'll just go on to, you know what, I'll show you one more thing about that, because there is another very important thing. I'll choose accordion this time so you can see something different. I'll add an item. I'll just go to advanced, I'll choose to go dynamic, and this time I will show you another option. You can use custom article or articles, and you can choose them from any article. So this menu item is category blog, and it's for the category of blogs, but you could choose to be articles from a different category lower down the page. So that's really useful. Also, you can choose the source to be external file or files. You can choose site, which would be global config, and I believe there is scope to use a completely different source, for example an RSS feed or an API or something like that. I'm not sure you can do it out of the box, but I believe you can achieve that somehow. So now you know you can use it for pretty much anything as a source, which is absolutely fantastic. I think that is pretty much all I want to cover, as this was supposed to be a super quick tutorial, and I think I have covered quite a lot of things. If you want to know more, please write in the comments. We will try and help you. Please do ask us for new things that you want to see, especially in Yoo Theme Builder or anything to do with web design. Hit us up, we'll try to help. One last thing I wanted to show was the advanced, first of all, clear cache. Sometimes things don't work, you can clear the cache. It doesn't give you any indication that it's cleared it, but it probably has. But just reload the page if you're worried. And the last thing is the theme settings. You can actually export them all and import them into an entirely new website. So it doesn't include the content from the layout or the style or anything like that, but it does include some settings, so kind of useful sometimes. And there's child themes as well, but I'll cover that in another video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like what we do. Please don't forget to subscribe.